Okay, we're going to talk about words that end in ed, whether they be verbs, adjectives, or past participles. Now, these words do have pronunciation patterns. For example, if the word that is ending in ed, if the letter that comes before the ed is a C, an F, a K, a P, an S, an SH, or a CH, we get a T sound at the end. So it'll sound like faced, stuffed, packed, smoked, stopped, passed, washed, watched. We get that T sound at the end because before the ed are these letters over here. Now, if before the ed you have a B, a G, an L, an M, N, R, V, W, or Z, you're going to get a D sound. So it'll sound like robbed, bugged, called, planned, moved, amazed. It's going to be a D sound. Now, there's only two letters that are going to receive the id sound, and that's if you have a T before the ed or a D before the ed. So started, stated, investigated, decided, right? So it will sound something similar to this right here. Packed. I smoked a cigarette. I passed my exam. I washed the dishes. I was robbed by somebody. I ordered the food. We moved to a new state. I was investigated by the FBI. I decided to not participate. So all you have to do is memorize these patterns, right? A lot of students seem to think that all of the words are going to have this id sound. No, there's only two letters. It's T and D that'll have the id sound. For the other letters, they fall into the T category, is a D category. Now, there are some exceptions because we are going by the way it sounds and not exactly what the letter is. In this case, the S sounds like a Z. So because the S sounds like a Z, it's going to be a D sound. Refused, right? We go by the sound that the letter makes. How about this verb or this word? Well, the TH sounds like a V. You'll say bathed. I was bathed in the hospital. I bathed myself. I bathed my dog. TH in this word will sometimes sound like a V, like in mouthed. Sometimes it sounds like an F. We sometimes say mouthed. He mouthed off at me, or he mouthed off at me, right? He was talking back to me, saying bad words or something. When it comes to the GH, this is going to have an F sound, so it's roughed. I was roughed up by the mafia. Or in this example, coughed. He coughed on me. So roughed and coughed. You get the T sound. We do have some exceptions to the rule, like in this word, legged. We say, I saw a four-legged creature. Have a blessed day. Some people will say that. He's a very learned person, or some people will pronounce it like that. But these are exceptions to the rule. Just remember, we are talking about ED rules, and we're not talking about IED rules. So rules for IED are different, right? Identified, worried. No, we're talking specifically about words that are ending in ED. Now, what do you remember? Which letters go into which category? For the T sound, for example, so try to think of all the letters that go into the category and think of some words that follow this pronunciation. So, for example, we have P for stopped or helped, SH for pushed, I pushed him, or wash, I washed the dishes. We have Z for the D sound, I was amazed. The animals grazed on the field, right? And we have T for the id sound, stated, evaporated, right? So try to remember, test yourself, try to remember what letters go into each category, and find words as examples or think of words you can use as examples.